A very good morning to my dear students. Today we are going to discuss chapter number 8, Cell, Structure and Functions. So without wasting time, let's start. Students, you all know that the living organisms are made up of one or more cells. That is why they are known as building blocks of life. Cells were first discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665. He looked at a thin slice of cork under the microscope that he made and saw that it was made up of small box like structures. He called these boxes cells, which were actually the dead cells. आपको पता है रॉबर्ट हुक की इस डिस्कवरी के 150 ईयर्स बाद भी सेल्स के बारे में कुछ ज़्यादा हमें इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं थी जब तक कि हाई मैग्निफिकेशन वाले माइक्रोस्कोप्स इन्वेंट नहीं हुए थे. टुडे scientists use high magnification microscopes to study cells. They use stains to color parts of the cell to study their detailed structure. Our next topic is cell theory. Two German biologists gave cell theory in 1838. The main points of this theory are as follows. First, all living things are made up of cells, just as a wall is made up of bricks. जैसे कि कोई दीवार ईंटों से मिलके बनती है, उसी तरीके से living things सेल से मिलके बने हैं and that is why cells are known as basic building blocks of the living organisms. Second, all cells are similar in their basic structure and function but are not identical. They differ in size and structure. All the cells मतलब सभी cells का बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर सेम होता है लेकिन सभी सेल्स आइडेंटिकल नहीं होते क्योंकि हर एक सेल को अलग फंक्शन परफॉर्म करना होता है एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट फंक्शन दे एक्वायर अ डिफरेंट साइज एंड स्ट्रक्चर. थर्ड, न्यू सेल्स आर फॉर्म्ड ड्यू टू डिवीजन इन ओल्ड सेल्स. नए सेल्स हमेशा पुराने सेल्स को डिवाइड करके बनते हैं. Now organisms can be classified into two categories. One is the unicellular organism, second is the multicellular organism. If we talk about unicellular organism, uni stands for single cell. So the organisms which are made up of single cell are known as unicellular organisms. For example, amoeba, bacteria, paramecium, etc. Multicellular organisms, the term multi stands for many. So the organisms which are made up of many cells are known as multicellular organisms. For example, plants and animals. Now we'll learn about the organization of cells in an organism. All multicellular organisms begin life as a single cell, which is the fertilized egg. The fertilized egg cell multiplies and the number of cells increase as the organism develops. You know that in a multicellular organism, the lower level of organization are as follows. First are the cells, which are the basic unit of living things. Then a group of cells together work for a specific function, which make tissue. Different tissue work together for a specific function to form organs. Then different organs work together to support the whole system, known as the organ systems. And finally, different systems work together to support the whole organism. So in this way, cells make tissues, tissues make organs, organs make organ systems, and organ systems make an organism. So now we can define the cell as the smallest unit that is capable of performing life functions. In multicellular organisms, cells have special jobs to do. So they have different shapes and sizes. For example, nerve cell. Now what is the work of nerve cell? इनका काम होता है मैसेज को बॉडी पार्ट से ब्रेन एंड ब्रेन से बॉडी पार्ट तक लेके आना. सो जितनी उनकी लेंथ ज़्यादा होगी, मैसेज उतनी ही जल्दी ट्रांसफ़र होगा. दैट इज़ वाई द नर्व सेल्स आर द लॉन्गेस्ट सेल इन द ह्यूमन बॉडी. Similarly, if we talk about WBCs, which are present in blood, can change their shape, which helps them to destroy germs. In plants also, the cells which are located on the outer part of the stem gives strength to the plant. Similarly, some cells in plants are used to store food. So what we can conclude here is that the cell acquires the shape according to the function they perform. Students, do you know that the egg of a bird is only a single cell, which means cell can greatly vary in size. For example, an ostrich egg is the largest single cell and a bacterial cell is the smallest single cell, whereas RBCs, which are known as red blood cells, are the smallest cell in the human body, and the nerve cells are the longest cell in the human body. Our next topic is structure of cell. Although cells vary so much in their size and shape, they have a number of things in common. The basic components of a cell are cytoplasm, cell membrane, nucleus, and organelles. This figure shows the general structure of a cell. So let's start with the first component of the cell, which is cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance which is present between the outer membrane and the nucleus. All life functions takes place in the cytoplasm. Small structures present in the cytoplasm are known as cell organelles. The next is cell membrane and cell wall. The outer covering of the cell is known as cell membrane or plasma membrane. The cell membrane separates the cell from its surroundings. It protects the cell and gives it a shape. It also allows water, minerals, and some other necessary substances to pass through it. Additionally, plant cells have a cell wall which is absent in animal cells. The cell wall supports and protects the plant cell since plants do not have skeletons for support. The next is nucleus. The small spherical body present in the center of cell is known as nucleus. The nucleus is the control center of the cell. It directs the growth of the cell and controls all the activities that go on within the cell. Now we'll learn the structure of nucleus. The liquid in the nucleus is called nucleoplasm. It is separated from the cytoplasm by a thin nuclear membrane. The nuclear membrane is porous and allows the movement of materials between the cytoplasm and the nucleus. Inside the nucleus is a smaller spherical body known as nucleolus. There are thread-like structures in the nucleus which are known as chromosomes. These carry genes which contain all the information needed by the cell to function and to reproduce. Thus, genes are responsible for inheritance, that is, transfer of characteristics from the parent to the offspring. The nucleus and the cytoplasm together is known as protoplasm, which is the living substance of the cell. Our next topic is cell organelles. Small structures scattered in the cytoplasma are known as cell organelles. There are various functions of organelles that perform different functions. Some of these are as follows. Mitochondria are small rod-like structures. They break down the food and provide us energy. That is why they are known as powerhouses of the cell. Second are the vacuoles. These are sac-like structures and store food, water and waste. Plant cells have large vacuoles as compared to animal cells. Third are the plastids. Plastids are only present in plant cells. Green color plastids are known as chloroplast because they contain a green color pigment known as chlorophyll, and this pigment is an essential part of photosynthesis. Other than these, Golgi bodies are present which secrete enzymes, endoplasmic reticulum that help in transport of substances within the cells, ribosomes that make proteins, lysosomes that destroy old cell structures, and centrosomes that regulate cell division. In many unicellular organisms, cells have projections on their outer surface which help in the movement of the cells or the organisms. They are called cilia, as in paramecium, which are many in number, or flagella as in euglena, which are 3 to 4 in number. We had already learnt about the organization of cells, that how cells combine to form tissues, tissues combine to form organs, organs to organ systems, and organ systems to an organism. Now we'll define all these terms. So the first is tissue, a group of similar cells that combine together to perform a special function is known as tissue. Second is organ, a structure composed of multiple tissue that carries out a specific function is known as organ. And the last one is organ system, a group of organs that work together is known as organ system. For example, digestive system, respiratory system, excretory system, circulatory system, etc. So this is a sum up that how cells combine such that an organism can function properly. Our next topic is the difference between plant and animal cells. This is a diagrammatical difference in plant and animal cell. Now we'll learn about the similarities and difference between the plant and animal cell. First are the similarities. Both the cell have nucleus, cytoplasm, plasma membrane, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and ribosomes. Now, differences between a plant cell and an animal cell. First, plant cell is larger than the animal cell. Second, plant cell is surrounded by an additional membrane known as cell membrane. Third, plant cell has one or two large vacuoles. Fourth, plant cell has different kind of plastids like chloroplast, leucoplast, chromoplast, etc. And last, plant cell does not have centrosome. Whereas animal cell is smaller than a plant cell, it only has a cell membrane. There is no cell wall. Vacuoles are either absent or they are very small in size. They do not have plastids, इसीलिए वो photosynthesis भी नहीं कर सकते. And it has a centrosome. Our last topic of this chapter is cell division. When a cell is formed, it is very small in size. After digesting food, it grows in a limited size. And after reaching a certain critical size, it divides to form two cells. So the process by which new cells are formed is known as cell division, and the new cells formed by cell division are known as daughter cells. New cells are needed for the growth of an organism and to replace cells that dies. I hope all the concepts of this chapter are clear to all of you. Read the chapter thoroughly and mark the internal questions. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, take care and have a nice day.